Right now, I was without shirt right here. Best Western, the bank. So I across from Safeway and Goodwill in Dallas, Oregon, right? I don't know the zip code. Dallas, Oregon. Not the Dallas, but Dallas, D-A-L-L-A-S. Outside Independence, Monmouth. And said police, I was laying about right here. A couple markings right here, public markings. Trees over there. And police just came to check on me, which is a good thing. Just want to see if I was a drug addict, so they're doing their job. And like I always remember to tell you, they're doing their job. So you guys need to remember, respect the police. But if they're violating your rights, try to do it respectfully to invoke your rights in front of them, because they're not used to certain sovereign and state national rights. And they just try to invoke a trespassing penal code on me, which penal codes are the 3 digits, the little book they carry on them sometimes. The law that they say is law, but it really isn't law. It's basically a code construct for an all capital name. Like when you pull on the indictment, it says all capitals. When you get a credit card and you get the bill, it says all capital letters, your whole name. That's the debt and debtor. It's a name that they charge you under for all the penal codes. It's like being a corporate company or a LLC, but without them telling you you're a corporate company or LLC. So they just try to rebuke. They came to check on me first. Just 2 officers came down and see me flopping on the ground. I'm just getting sun. As soon as they came up, the clouds came over the sun. You can see all the clouds right here. The sun's right there. You see the opening right there? All of a sudden, the clouds came up right when they get like I'm gonna say like fucking 5 seconds after they came up, it popped up the clouds. God sign. You know what I mean? But they were just doing their job, because they usually, I was like, there's a lot of drug addicts right here, I understand. And I'm sober as gopher, you know what I mean? So, doesn't mean I won't smoke again. Just like, but anyways, so they just started kind of just checking on me. They came real respectful. You okay? You know what I mean? Okay, kind of with the attitude of like, we're gonna check on somebody. You know what I mean? But then I said, I invoked my descriptive nature of, you can't really. They said if the bank says something, they're gonna trespass you. So I was like, I can't get arrested. It's something about, it's like state. I use descriptive natures because sometimes the sovereignty has different descriptions. Just like on a word in a dictionary, it has one meaning and it has 2 meanings. You know what I mean? Sometimes it has 2 different meanings. So when I use a descriptive nature, it's on the way I understand, right? And sometimes I understand by the way they study. So I say sovereignty and state nationals, you can't arrest me. And he's like, yes, I can. And then they get kind of irritated, right? I told him my name. I was Prophet Fernando. I don't know if you heard of me. I don't know what street this is, but it's by Safeway, Dallas. And Best Western. See Best Western's at. I'll look it up in a little bit when I got off. But that being said, he tried to he got a little angry and upset. Like he just sterned up real quick. He's like, yes, I can. I was like, no, you can't. He's like, yes, I can. Because trespassing is a penal code. Trespassing is not a lawful thing. Only in sovereignty, it's a trespassing if they own the property. They can basically kick you out themselves, but they can't call the police to kick you out. That's the difference. So they have to personally kick you out off their property. But since it's a mutual respect thing, and I know respect, I know the common statutory portrayed law, because it's a portrayed law. It's portrayed meaning that they make it look like it's a law, but it's really just a code. It's a violation code, dog. It's like getting a ticket. And the prophecy that I walk back to the Best Western where I'm staying at, and the prophecy is the Lord's Prayer. Forgive me for my trespasses as those trespass against us. Because not only will they trespass in our vicinity in a philosophical nature, a metaphorical, but an analytical, a mental, emotionally, spiritual nature, a physical landmark nature, or a land trespass, but we're supposed to be all doing things out of love, the commandment, right? So they came out of love, but then they got hostile because they have this narcissist spirit with them, right? And a narcissist ego spirit where they want to feel above everybody. When a person acts like how I look, right, tatted up. I didn't have no shirt on. I have my hair looks crazy when I have this ponytail. You're not used to it. And I look, they assumed I was a drug addict, right? But I'm not a drug addict. I'm just chilling. And so they have this narcissist spirit. There's two officers, a younger officer and an older officer. Not older officer, probably mid-40s, something like that. And so he got this narcissist spirit about him, just like I want to control you on a weird shit. You know what I mean? Those weirdos, they always try to control you. And then fucking the bitches know what I'm talking about. The females know what I'm talking about. My baby daddy always try to control me. He always try to act like he better than me. And so bitches like that too. You know what I mean? Females like that too. Excuse my language. You know what I mean? But before the Lord, those nerds from your high school that used to get bullied, they either become narcissists behind a fucking computer, scream like a little hyena, or they fucking become better, or they really just become an officer or someone in a manager position where they can be like all grumpy and finally feel proud of themselves, right? But other nature is that some cops just become stern, which he became an angry. So because I read energy for a living, prophetically, empathically, psychically, in every way, and I can read their mind telepathically if I need to, but your energy says it all. So he got angry. He's like, yes, you can get arrested. And I was like, no, I can't. And then he just walked away. But they did their job, came to check on somebody that was laying down, and But prophecy says we forgive people who trespass. So if you're forgiven, what's that mean? That means there's no debt, no charge. And under your penal code, our Father's Lord Prayer, you can't be trespassed when you're in my nature or in my house. So there's kingdom houses. A house divided by itself cannot stand. So that's God's house. I'm God's house on earth because a prophet is under God's house or in God's house or makes his house with God. So as far as I say the Lord Prayer, and the money says in God we trust, and prophets are all nations under God, I'm above the police and the FBI. Not by, some people will laugh at this, but because the way I look or the way I sound, the way I portrayed myself in the past of my life. But the Federal Reserve note is your dollar bill, your 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s, etc. And in the back of it, it says in God we trust. And it says a Federal Reserve note. That's for the sovereigns, and I already know how to overcome the money, right? So they can't get me on capital crimes. Capital crimes are murder, terrorism, crimes against humanity, etc. So I could kill you, etc. And I'll be free. No fucking arrest. And if they arrest me, they get in trouble. But anyways, and it says in God we trust on the back. It doesn't say in God's people, prophets, we question them and we harass them. It doesn't say in God's people, in God's prophets, we don't listen to what they say. Because God's prophets I'm actually a little higher than prophet. I'm like a Christ. But I keep it all to myself. And sometimes you see me reflect that nature on my profile. But I like to be a big kid, you know what I mean? Just enjoy life. So sometimes I'm a little stupid and I don't act prophetic-like. But God gives us gifts without repentance. Meaning that once you're gifted, he doesn't regret gifting you. Because he knows how you're going to use it. Because he knows everything. And he knows even if you use it bad, you correct yourself or there's a reason. You know what I mean? So he gives us gifts without repentance without taking them back. So once you're a prophetically gifted individual, not to be mentioned with psychics because I can feel someone's energy talking to me or projecting that, not to be confused with a psychic, right? Because some psychics probably had portrayed prophecy, etc. But that being said, the Federal Reserve note is a signature on it. It's a federal bill, a federal note. You're not even supposed to burn it, rip it, etc. It's illegal to, because it's a note from the feds saying that they signed it, they gave you a note, you used it, and informed you because they wanted to be the sovereign nation under God. You know what I mean? But I'm the sovereign nation with God, so you guys are all under me. So when you pull out this construct of debt and debtor and your Tin Man, which is your social security number, and you take ownership of it, then you become above the police and the policing, except for the law.